Myths and legends surrounding the River Nile. The River Nile is more than just the world's longest river. For thousands of years, it has been a source of life, mystery, religion, and legend. Flowing over 6,600 kilometers from the highlands of East Africa through Sudan and Egypt before reaching the Mediterranean Sea, the Nile has inspired countless myths among the peoples who have lived along its banks. From ancient Egyptian gods to mysterious creatures said to lurk beneath its waters, from sacred springs in Uganda to prophetic legends in Sudan, the Nile remains one of the most legendary rivers in human history. Imagine a river so powerful that entire civilizations believed it was a gift from the gods, a river that transformed deserts into fertile kingdoms, a river whose floods determined life and death. For over 5,000 years, the Nile has carried not only water but stories. Stories of gods, kings, sacred animals, hidden treasures, ancient curses, and mysteries that continue to puzzle historians today. This is the incredible story of the myths and legends surrounding the River Nile, the sacred source of the Nile. For centuries, one question fascinated explorers more than any other: where does the Nile begin? Ancient civilizations believed its source was hidden by the gods. Some imagined giant underground oceans. Others believed the river flowed directly from paradise. In Uganda, however, local traditions tell a different story. Near Jinja, where the Nile leaves Lake Victoria, the waters were considered sacred long before European explorers arrived. The local Basoga people believed powerful spirits lived beneath the water. Fishermen often performed rituals before entering the river. Offerings were made to ensure safe journeys and plentiful catches. Many believed disturbing certain areas of the river would awaken supernatural forces. Even today, some local communities continue to treat parts of the Nile with deep spiritual respect. Hapi, the god of the Nile. To the ancient Egyptians, the Nile was not simply a river, it was alive. They believed the annual flooding was controlled by Hapi, the god of the Nile. Unlike many Egyptian gods, Hapi was not a warrior. He represented abundance, prosperity. Life artists often portrayed Hapi with a rounded belly and large breasts, symbolizing nourishment and fertility. Each year, priests offered prayers and gifts, hoping Hapi would bring floods large enough to nourish the land, but not so large that villages would be destroyed. The annual flooding became one of the greatest miracles of the ancient world. Without it, Egypt could never have existed. The Tears of Isis. One of Egypt's most beautiful legends connects the Nile with the goddess Isis. According to myth, Isis searched across Egypt for the body of her husband Osiris after he was murdered by his brother Set. As she wandered the land in grief, she cried endlessly. Her tears became the annual floodwaters of the Nile. Each year, when the river overflowed its banks, people believed Isis was mourning once again. The floods became a symbol not only of sadness, but also renewal. For after every flood came new life, fresh soil, new crops, hope. Sobek, lord of the crocodiles. The Nile was home to one of Africa's most feared predators, the Nile crocodile. To ancient Egyptians, these powerful reptiles represented the god Sobek. Sobek symbolized both destruction and protection. His strength defended the kingdom. His anger brought chaos. Many temples raised sacred crocodiles. Some were fed by priests, others wore jewelry made of gold. When they died, they were carefully mummified. Thousands of crocodile mummies have been discovered by archaeologists, revealing how deeply this belief shaped Egyptian life. The hidden kingdom beneath the Nile. Across Sudan and Egypt, legends speak of an underwater kingdom. According to traditional stories, powerful spirits ruled beneath the river. Some tales describe underwater palaces made of crystal. Others tell of guardians protecting ancient treasures. Fishermen claimed strange lights sometimes appeared on the water during quiet nights. Many believed these lights were not natural, but signs from the spirit world. Although no evidence confirms these stories, they remain an important part of local folklore. The Curse of the Pharaohs. Perhaps no legend connected to the Nile is more famous than the Curse of the Pharaohs. Ancient tombs near the Nile contained unimaginable treasures, but they also inspired terrifying warnings. It was believed anyone disturbing a king's eternal resting place would suffer a terrible curse. The legend became famous after the discovery of the tomb of Tutankhamun in 1922. When several people associated with the excavation died in the following years, newspapers around the world claimed the pharaoh's curse had struck again. Modern historians point out there is no convincing scientific evidence for a supernatural curse, yet the legend remains one of history's greatest mysteries: the Nile serpent. Long before modern science documented the wildlife of the Nile, travelers described enormous serpents living beneath its waters. Some stories spoke of snakes large enough to overturn boats. Others believed giant water spirits guarded hidden sections of the river. While these legends were likely inspired by encounters with massive pythons and crocodiles, storytellers transformed them into terrifying monsters that warn children never to wander too close to dangerous waters. Spirits of the rapids. In Uganda and South Sudan, dangerous rapids were often believed to be homes of powerful spirits. Communities explained sudden drownings or disappearing boats as signs that the river spirits had become angry. Before crossing dangerous waters, elders sometimes performed blessings or prayers. These traditions encouraged respect for the river's immense power and reminded travelers to approach it with caution. The Nile and prophecy. Throughout history, unusual events along the Nile were often interpreted as signs from the divine. An unusually high flood might signal prosperity. A poor flood could warn of famine. Ancient priests carefully measured the river using structures known as nilometers. These measurements helped predict harvests, but many people also believed they revealed messages from the gods. Thus, science and spirituality became intertwined along the banks of the Nile. Why the legends endure. Today, satellites have mapped the Nile. Scientists understand its hydrology. Explorers have traced its many tributaries. Yet the legends remain alive. They remind us that rivers are more than flowing water. They shape civilizations, inspire religions, preserve traditions, and carry the memories of countless generations. Whether it is the sacred source in Uganda, the crocodile god of Egypt, the tears of Isis, or the mysterious spirit said to dwell beneath the waves, the River Nile continues to flow through both history and imagination. The Nile is not only one of Earth's greatest rivers, it is one of humanity's greatest storytellers. Its waters have witnessed the rise of kingdoms, the birth of religions, the journeys of explorers, and the dreams of millions. Long after empires have faded into history, the myths of the Nile continue to remind us that some places are so extraordinary they become legends themselves. Because sometimes, the greatest stories are carried not by people, but by the river itself. As the sun sets over the River Nile, its waters continue their timeless journey across Africa, carrying history, culture, faith, and mystery. For the people who have lived beside it for thousands of years, the Nile is more than a river. It is a living story, one that continues to flow through the heart of Africa and through the imagination of everyone who encounters its legendary waters. If you enjoyed this journey through River Nile's fascinating legends, don't forget to like, subscribe, and join us for more stories from Africa's rich and remarkable past.